back to another episode under the playlist name Adversary Profiling. In our last four episodes, we are discussing about kill chain model, diamond model, pyramid of pain, pyramid of adversary profiling. But um, there are a nice code that mention we have to know our enemy. So if we doesn't know who is our enemy, we may just make a decision beside or upon the hypothesis, and actually it's not make a sense at all, because actually if any kind of the decision based on the hypothesis, if we don't have a big picture, um, indicator of compromises, maybe some same pattern of the attack by other groups or other adversary, we are just following doubts, because actually hypothesis is doubt, and the doubt is not like a true context actually, and that's I think a mindset we have to create and build and develop in our head. So in this episode, we are focused on adversary archetypes, and in upcoming episodes, inshallah, we will start discuss about each type of adversary one by one, like nation states, IPTs, cyber criminals, hacktivists, licktivists, and insider threats, and so on. But actually, in this episode, in this one, it's just a general definition of adversaries. So it's based on this pyramid, and overall, we have some adversary types. The scripted kiddies and thrills seekers, the insiders threats, the hacktivists, cyber criminals, organized crimes also, and the nation state actors, or we can say APTs. So we will start on APTs first. So what is APT is? So the APT is advanced persistent threat. They are conducting and operating a sophisticated cyber intrusion or cyber attack, because actually they have a resources, they have a patient, and they don't give up. They don't give up even if they are fail to initial access on targeted assets. In addition, they have a budget. A budget maybe for crafting an exploiters, or hire someone to write a specific exploit for a specific hardware or software device, or hire someone that find vulnerabilities in operating systems in a specific software that inside this operating systems. And actually, APTs, as we are mentioned, they are not like cyber criminals groups. They are not like a hacktivists. They are not like a insider threat. They are no like a scripted kiddies and thrill seekers. But actually, even APTs can recruit someone inside the organization itself. That's mean insider threat or shadow IT. Okay, so actually that's about APTs. And actually, the APTs always trying to operating the cyber campaign in a mysterious and novelist way. And sometimes this cyber campaign, the motive is ideology. Sometimes And actually, sometimes the motive is distraction, and sometimes could be the espionage. That's a main difference of IPTs. There are less cases, and that's unusual behavior of APTs or nation state actors that behaving like cyber criminals or organized crime to conducting a cyber operation and cyber intrusion. Maybe they are trying to copy and clone some technique and some execution method from the other groups, but actually the whole operation on IPT and from the IPT vision is a different, because they have a different methodology, they have a different motivation, they have a different resource, different skill, different training, and so on. It is about APT. Again, APT is stand for Advanced Persistent Threat. And another adversary types is cyber criminals, organized crime. So actually they are known as spiders. And again, that's unusual if APTs conducting same behavior of organized cybercrime gangs. Because the motive and intent and the vision between cybercriminal and APTs is a between disdain earth and sky. Okay? So actually, the cyber criminals, or we can say the spider between quotation, because each researchers have a different name for each specific groups. Okay? But actually, cyber criminal groups or organized crime is a spider. So the spider is operating as ransomware as service, malware as service, DDoS as service, but they are not have a motive for like activists. There are a lot of difference between the cyber intrusion operation of cyber criminals or organized crime spiders than activists, because for each groups the motive is different, the objective and goals is different. Sometimes for nation state, also for IPTs, could be distraction and leaking data exfiltration, but actually it's in only some few cases on cyber campaign. But for cyber criminals, the goal is, the objective is data distraction and leaking data. Why? So maybe the great question, why data exfiltration and also leaking data like a hacktivist? So actually they are different. So actually maybe this specific cyber criminal groups is threaten a CEO or the company or industry critical infrastructure to public this leaked data from the dark web, from the breach forum, from the surface web, from the social media. So actually that's a main goal that sometimes threat actors, cyber criminal threat actors as have some behavior as hacktivists, and APT sometimes as cyber criminals groups. But mostly cyber criminal groups, they target a random organization and listing and scoping this organization is based of the avenue of the budget of the financial staff of this organization. So the cyber criminal groups doesn't try to infect a pizza store or the small coffee shop or small cafeteria, because they know the budget is not what they are looking for, but actually they are moved to target government industry, they target critical infrastructure, they target bankers, financial institutes, the big organization, a big company that they have a big budget, they are rich, so they are follow rich people's, rich companies, rich individual, rich institute, because they have a money. They have a money and they have to pay a ransom, and if not, their data will be published on the black market and some kind of chatting platforms and groups, or maybe the cyber criminals will share and move and forward this data between other groups. Maybe they provide to scammers, provide to other kind of the threat actors. But actually, there are some cyber criminal groups. They doesn't make a cyber operation, but actually they provide a custom tools, custom malware, custom ransomware, custom encryption, packing, obfuscation, encoding software to other individual, to other groups, to other archetypes of threat actor. But in most cases, the cyber criminals doing an operation too, because actually in other layers they need a money for themselves too, because actually the cyber criminals groups or organized crime is not one person. They are a wide range networks. So they hire maybe another guy that work as a reverse engineer. They hire a guy work as penetration tester. So they hire a guy exploit developer. So they have another guy, they are cryptography expert. So they need the money to work. That's why cyber criminals sometimes from some sides they are conducting some cyber operation and cyber intrusion to get a money for their own employees. And actually, the other group is the hacktivists. So actually, hacktivists have the political or ideological intent and movies. Maybe they are trying to attack on the government to sharing intellectual properties and maybe classified documents, because actually they have one ideology that should government share everything with their own citizen. But actually, that's a wrong thing. I'm not part of any kind of government of department of something like that. I'm just an independent researcher, but actually based it on my reading to this mindset of activists from time to time, they are in some way wrong, because actually everyone have their own secrets. Maybe this secrets and there's personality secrets and some secret personality behaviors. Why it should be known for public? Because your government have a competitor in the side, and that's I think a wrong thinking and mindset of activists. But actually they follow and they don't care what's right and what's wrong. They are just trying to infiltrate and penetrate the network and sharing data into the public. Actually, the hacktivists, the one of the main key different of the hacktivists, they doesn't ask for a money. They are directly share and this data to public. To make a GitHub repost, to breach forms, to some kind of blogs, to some kind of a website, maybe in dark web, in some kind of a chatting platforms, groups, and social media. So actually, hacktivists' goal and objective is leaking data, but the motive is political movement. Political ideology and some kind of maybe the evil religion ideology. and they are no follow money. They are no follow money actually. That's one of the main key difference between actually hacktivists and cyber criminals. But about the tools and about the execution method and about the targeted asset, there are some kind of the different between cyber criminals or nation state APTs, because sometimes they are trying to build their own custom tools. But in hacktivists, they are mostly relying on maybe data leakers, combo lists, compromised traditional, some kind of the social engineering, sometimes insider threat or insider breach, higher whistleblowers, and so on. And about the tools we are mentioning, it's public tools that are available maybe in GitHub repo or in the penetration testing distribution, actually. And they don't follow money as we are discussing about. They are just following their ideology and the intent and make the data available to everyone. And they don't care what the data is actually. I mean, they don't care about the impact of the publishing this leaking document. And actually, that's some kind of a psychological description of hacktivist mindset. And again, the power of hacktivist groups, it is depend of the group structure and the group employees. Maybe in past we have some kind of LULUSEC. We have some kind of like anonymous. They are powerful, and they are actually doesn't ask for money, just sharing and making this data public to the citizen. And the bad things here is this data that they are trying to leak is not only for their own citizen, is for all internet users. For all internet users. The another group is insider threat. So actually, insider threat can be hired by nation state, cyber criminals, activists. So actually, I have read a news on one of the ransomware groups that recruiting an employee inside the company or organization itself by a lot of money just by installing a ransomware inside the computer network. So actually, insider threats sometimes can be like a toys for other groups. But actually, if we define a short definition to insider threat, so actually insider threat is an individual inside the company that betray or cheating their own company for one intent, for one reason. And the reason and the motive and the intent again is changed based on the personality characteristics. Maybe they have a issue between the targeted employee inside the organization with their own CEO about the budget or about working hours, and this employee, as a revenge, they are doing this crime. That's a insider threat. And actually, recent group is that, or recent adversary that we are discussing is start investigating and reconnaissance and researching about from social media, from emails, from other stuff is to find a weakest link of the chain inside targeted industry, targeted financial institute, targeted institute, targeted government, or targeted company. So actually, the reconnaissance is always the first stage. And there are a lot of differences you have to know about shadow IT, about insider threat, about insider breach, about whistleblower, that in upcoming episodes, inshallah, we will try to discuss about it. And the last one is scripted kiddies and thrill killers. So actually, this type of adversary, they are just doing the cyber intrusion for fun. They kind some of defacement, some kind of showing off that I have the powers to doing the cyber intrusion. And actually, sometimes it could be this, this cyber intrusion or the penetration testing or network infiltration or computer infiltration is just for being carried by maybe specific groups, maybe a company. And actually, the scripted kiddies and thrill seekers, it's not a money, it's not espionage, it's not distraction, it's not sabotage, it's not leaking data, and it's not a money. It's just for showing off, just for fun. That is it. And that's unusual activities that scripted kiddies trying to infiltrate the organization or institute for money, for espionage, for sabotage, for destruction, and so on. Because actually, that's not a type and the behavior of scripted kiddie. And actually, they are wrong idea of inside a security researcher and cybersecurity community at all. They are look on scripted kiddies and thrill seekers. They are noob. So actually, what's mean I am noob and I am junior of penetration testing and I have 6 months of experiences in this black hat activities, just an example. But in the same time, I have leaked your data, access into your account, your company, lateral movement, taken control on domains or domain controllers. So being noob and being juniors is not make a sense. Because actually, it's not about how it work. It's about that's work or not. For example, if someone is scripted kiddie and thrill seekers, but he already accessed it on your account or network and infiltrated and bypassed the security practice, being noob and being junior is not making any senses. That's make a sense that you are compromised. So that's a one mistake is that always we see in, or we have seen in the past in the cybersecurity community. So actually it's about the adversary archetypes. In our upcoming episodes, inshallah, we will try to discuss about this types one by one. So this episode is a just general definition of this kind of the groups. And until another episode, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.